be so soggy you'll see the plastic rolling out.
Rolling out of what?
The bun. The Subway bun has a bunch of
There's
plastic.
plastic that rolls out of a bun?
Hang on. Here.
There's rubber. There's rubber in the Subway buns.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this is real.
But
Look.
there's not
Really?
plastic.
Here.
Wait, I want to see the rubber though, for that
Yeah,
matter.
I gotta see what's going on.
Here. Subway announced Wednesday will stop using a chemical commonly found in shoe rubber and yoga mats in its bread. I told you, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. We are here and we are not happy. If you watched last week's episode, you know why. It's been a rough couple days for the fan base. We're of course talking about the Penn State versus Michigan. I wouldn't call it a beatdown, but I'd just say like disappointment from us more than anything else.
Beatdown just felt like it.
It did. I feel like aside from like the first like two possessions, I didn't feel like we were really in that game. And I know we were into the game technically for like the last like couple like the last quarter, but it just never felt like we were actually in that game.
Yeah, it was a moral loss. Like you have moral victories, but like that was a moral loss.
Well, no, it was a loss. It was a loss.
And a moral loss.
Well,
I
that
felt
yes, of
like
course.
I lost moral.
All right, wait a minute. What we have to ask the question: what exactly does a moral loss mean?
It's like even if you win the game, but like you lose your star quarterback, it's a moral loss.
Okay, well, that's
Okay, or if you beat a bad team close, that's a moral loss.
Moral loss. Yeah.
Okay. So this is a loss and a moral
And
loss.
a moral loss. Yeah. Because not only did we
All right.
lose, our offense was trash.
I mean, it's true. Yeah, and we weren't. I mean, we were in the game by the score, thanks to the defense. But it was Ohio State round 2. It was, I don't want to say expected, but kind of expected. Not shocking how it unfolded. Defense played their butts off again.
Yep.
Very sad for them.
I think
And
it'd be
offense
fair to
did
say it
diddly
was
squat.
expected. Not that it wasn't expected. It was expected, and it's sad that it was expected.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I gave an optimistic outlook, but I at least at the end of the day, I did not give a prediction that we were going to win by 3 touchdowns. That is something I would like to hear about.
Who on this podcast did, though?
That's something I'd like to hear about. I don't really.
Nobody would ever make a claim like that.
What kind of idiot would do that?
Let's hear it then. Let's hear it from the man himself. What did we see in that supposedly 3 touchdown victory supposed to be game?
I'll be honest. What I thought was going to happen is that the offense wouldn't suck, and maybe that was a long shot. But if you look back, and the offense was like at least had a pulse, I don't think it's crazy to say we would have won by 3 touchdowns because we dominated on defense.
It's at least in the realm of possibility. Then I mean, I still don't think it's likely, but it's somewhat possible.
Not likely, but possible. The problem is the offense sucked. Like how many times did we have good opportunities to score and we just couldn't move the ball?
10.
Exactly. So if we scored 10 times, that's a 3 touchdown win.
Remember when y'all were talking about my scoregami with them posted up a 25?
Yeah.
We had 2 missed 2 points. It was possible. Just saying.
Well, no, it was the fine. Wait, no, 20. Was it 25-14 or 24-15? 24-15, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had the 5 just in the wrong column.
Yeah, that was sad. I mean, I feel like at the start of the game, from the very first possession, it seemed like we were going to get that kind of performance we were hoping for from the offense, especially. But for some reason, after that first drive, we just got away from everything that was working, and that's I feel like what happened, where it went wrong.
For me, it was the fumble. It was Aller's fumble on the 3rd and 2 or whatever it was, short carry. He carries, picks it up. It's a good enough play call or decision, whatever, however we got there. He hangs on the ball, he goes down. Still a 1-score game at that point. You're in good shape. You're, I think, at midfield or even across. But either way, you've got a good chance to score or at least get some kind of points. And then from there, you turn it over. They go down and score. And then that was not the end, but the beginning of the end versus keeping it hanging in the balance and potentially scratching it out.
It completely.
They were never
any momentum we had.
They were never going to do at that point, we knew what the offense was. It still was pretty much the same unit. We were never going to do that 3-score win kind of performance out of them. That's just wasn't in the cards this year. But potentially true, but they potentially could have won the game if he hangs on to that, if they keep the momentum, if they have a little belief, like call the right kind of plays. Michigan was scared to throw, which I don't blame them. They couldn't block us up front, but they didn't need to either. And there's one other thing. Let me just get out here really quick too, because people are saying like, "Oh yeah, they stuck with the run. They shoved it down Penn State's throat. This and that." Not true. Simply not true.
No.
I mean, you had 32 straight run plays because that's all they had to do. There were punts in the middle of that. There were, it's not like they ran 32 straight run plays and scored every single drive in there. They just didn't have to throw because Penn State's offense did nothing. They knew that. And credit to them for not playing it stupid. They played to win the game. They won. But the defense did not have the same kind of performance as last year. It was much, much better. I think combined yardage between like throwing, rushing, and passing for Michigan was like 280. I think it was like under 300 yards combined, which again, for me, you're taking that every day of the week. Defense lights out. Just a shame that the offense let them down pretty much all year.
So do we think that we're going to see changes in the future from the coaching change we have now?
So
with Mike Yurcich being fired after the game.
A little bit of an inside scoop on that. That's not really an inside scoop because I just saw it was reported by Audrey Snyder. Shouts out.
Yes.
Bill, did you see this yet? I think you know.
I did not. I just love Audrey, but yeah.
All right, so Audrey Snyder interviewed the new quarterback commit that we just got. That committed, I guess, on Saturday.
Oh yeah, 3-star.
I don't know when he officially came out and said he committed, but he actually did commit to Franklin on Saturday before the game. So
hang on, we're gonna get his name. Keep going.
So he gets in. I don't know if it was a room or a Zoom call or whatever, but Yurcich is not there, and Yurcich is the guy that was recruiting him the whole time. So the kid asked Franklin like, "Hey, where's Yurcich? How come he's not here?" And he basically told the kid Yurcich is not going to be there next year, and this is before the Michigan game. So Franklin intended to fire Yurcich before the game.
Whoa.
Yeah. So why then do you let him call that game?
That's a great question.
What are we doing?
I have a thought on that. My thought, because he also came out and said, about the games weren't being called the way we were intending to and all that stuff. My thought is at somewhere in the start of the season, Yurcich, I don't want to say he went rogue, and this is all speculation, I don't know. But I don't know if he went rogue or just wasn't performing up to what Franklin wanted him to do, which obviously he wasn't because, our offense was not good. But when you're winning games and your only loss is to the number 3 team in the country or now the number 1 team in the country, whatever, how do you fire a member of your staff? You can't do it, right? Because if you're a one-loss team going into Michigan, he fires the OC the week before the game. That's like crazy. You can't expect your team to bounce back and go beat the number 3 team. Now, obviously, they're going to struggle the rest of the year, I think, but I understand why he didn't fire Yurcich until after the game.
And I think the question then becomes, or go ahead, Evan. Yeah.
I was going to say, as a top team, I mean, you look at, for example, I think we talked about him last week. We had Grinch at USC. It took a lot of bad games and not just lost top teams to get that guy out of there. It's not going to be defined by one loss. If your team is winning, then yeah, I think there'd be a lot of backlash. And we'd be saying right now, if we lost that game, why did we fire Yurcich before the game?
Yep.
Yeah, I do agree. I was going to say,
if you want to dive into conspiracy territory, what if they held him on just as a scapegoat, honestly, because they knew people would be calling for blood if we lost to Michigan. If Franklin was already waiting for him on the way out, say, all right, I'll keep him, and then if and when we lose, I'll be able to cut him and save some face.
Love it.
Anyway.
Love it.
That's
a smart man. That's my coach.
Where do you get an offensive coordinator halfway through the season? If he fired him midway through the season, they were going without an OC the rest of the way.
Yep.
And I don't think they have
they're going with a temp
on staff to do that. So I think
let Manny Diaz run the offense too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That guy's an animal.
Definitely agree. The question then for me becomes, how far into the season do you think Franklin knew?
I think like week 3. I think it was early.
It's pretty quick, yeah.
Week 3 was Iowa, was it not?
It was.
When we put up 31?
Yeah. I still think it was quick. I think he knew almost immediately. But I think it was too late for him to fire him for the season. He might have known before the season started.
So let me ask then, what do you think changed between the off-season and week 3 that made Franklin go from, well, I'm not sure, to, yeah, he has to go?
I think it was just, a lot of times you hope you have a young team. You hope they start putting it together when they're on the field, live game action. And Jurkic, from what Franklin said, Jurkic is either not executing on offense the way he expected or not calling the game the way he expected. And if it's the latter and that he wasn't calling the game that way, then he probably wouldn't have seen anything until the season and just said, why are you not sticking with the game plan? This is not what we said we were going to do, whatever. And then you couple that with the fact that Drew Aller was having problems, and ultimately, it comes down to Franklin because it's his team, but as the essentially offensive head coach, because that's, I think, how he worded it today. He wants an offensive head coach and a defensive head coach. If you're the offensive head coach and your offense sucks, that's a problem. You got to go. So I think, and it's hard to judge that in the offseason when you're just seeing guys develop and you're not playing like game action. And their offense, maybe it wasn't stellar under Jurkic before this, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. So I think something happened where, the skill set on the team changed and Jurkic couldn't adapt, and he's got to be gone.
You got to remember, too, Jurkic is a big reason, if not the reason, Aller is at Penn State right now. So he was the main recruiter for Aller, identified him early, was with them the whole time. That Aller's his guy, and like that's definitely a part of it, I'm sure, of why he at least started this year. I think it's also that we just didn't know. I'm going to answer my own question, the Ohio State game. I'm saying at that point Franklin probably knew, because one way or the other, it didn't go according to plan. And if Franklin isn't just giving lip service, and it's truthfully like what he thinks or what actually happened is, they had a different game plan and it's not what they executed or called or whatever. That was the first game that was for sure apparent, right? There were definitely struggles before that and probably showed up there too, but it for sure, we knew after that game, this is not working. They are not gonna, live up to the potential that we thought they would. So I think he had to have known at least since then, if he knew before Michigan, because before that it was Indiana and well, no, there was Maryland in there, I guess. But I was gonna say UMass, Indiana, then Maryland. Maryland was the last, bright spot, I guess. But it's still surprising that he said that before the game, because if you knew that before the game, I just don't see how you could let the person call the plays. You've got to step in.
I mean, the only way I could think you justify letting him go in there, knowing he's like a lame duck, honestly, is because you say, all right, that you don't have an option that fast. We think like, all right, a not great or an incompetent OC is better than a positions coach you'd have to promote mid-season, like field promotion, basically, where you basically know, all right, this guy is not going to get it done for us, but we don't have a better option right now.
Mike, was that report from Audrey before the game or after the game?
The report was after the game, but she talked to the kid, and he said he committed before the game, and that's when Franklin told him Jurkic wasn't going to be around.
So Franklin told the kid, by the way, the kid's name is 3-star quarterback Beckham Kritza out of Colorado.
Oh, yeah, it's a dog.
So
that's a dog.
He's the
right under Deion's
He's the
nose.
guy. Yeah. He's the guy. Yeah, snipe
right
him.
Under Deion's
snipe
nose.
him. You want Deion. You want to come to a winning program. You want a 4-6 team.
I agree.
But anyway, so before the game, that means right. So it couldn't have been like Jurkic had one last chance kind of thing. Like, hey, if you don't get the win today, you're done. Like, lay it on the line, because he already told him that before the game. Yep. So that's I don't know. That's concerning for me. I don't understand how you could possibly in the biggest game of the season, a game that can save your season, you're letting someone at the controls that is getting canned. Why? What do you have to lose by letting Cedar and Ty Howell call the game?
I think Tex hit the nail on the head. It's you have everybody, positions coach and stuff, all have their own things. They're trying to prep their team. If Ohio State was 2 weeks before Michigan, 3 weeks before Michigan, you're going to promote somebody, try to fill those gaps and get somebody comfortable calling plays for this huge game, as opposed to someone that's used to doing it all season, even if he's not the best at it. I mean, it's hard to throw somebody into that position and still expect your team to be ready to play. And obviously they weren't ready to play anyway, but there's really no good situation there, in my opinion.
I think that losing with the guy you've already had in is better than losing with the guy you just put in there.
I agree.
Because if we had lost the game after we'd fired Jurkic, it would have been
why did you fire him? We could have won it if we had him.
We had one loss. Yeah. We're going to fire OC. Franklin's an idiot. That's what we'd be getting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. And now it's okay. He's gone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Next. Maybe it's not the best idea, but I can understand why he did it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So what? What if what if what if Yursic knew he was on the way out and he torpedoed the game?
Love it from him. Love that too.
Been saying that about his last play call with the nonsense.
I was gonna say it explains the 2-point nonsense we saw.
Listen, no,
that
I
does
love
check out.
I love that. I love everything about that. If I know I'm on the way out, I'm bringing everything down with me.
Screw you guys.
I love it. That's good football.
Oh my God.
That's just real good football. So do we expect? What do we expect to see this weekend? Then are we expecting, since Cedar is one of our new co-offensive coordinators, however they're running that, we're gonna see the run game finally open up, which we haven't seen all year?
No, I'll go first. I don't think we're gonna see much different. I think we're gonna see. I'll go for prediction here too. So I think we're gonna see 27 or maybe 28. I don't know, something like that to 10 kind of game. Probably it'll be, a low scoring first half. It'll be a 14-3 or it'll be something like that. Maybe it'll be maybe slow and it'll be 7-zip, but who knows? Something like that, and then they'll pull away at the end and make it a little bit more margin. But I think it's gonna be low scoring. Rutgers' offense is worse than ours somehow, and our defense is gonna maul them probably. Knock on wood. But I don't think it's gonna be magically like you're calling the plays and it's gonna be all problems are solved from two people that have never called plays before. So even, the best case is, I think we all agreed from the last pod and everything else this season, it wasn't just Yursic. It was Aller. It was the wide receivers not getting the job done. It was play calling. It all falls on Yursic, but it was multiple pieces that add up to the sum of the problem. So even if you completely solve the play calling problem, the other problems are not immediately like vanished, right? So, the high end here is the play calling is fantastic, and we have a couple, good throws at Aller, and he's aggressive, and it looks more like Maryland. The low end is it's even worse because that's possible, not likely, I don't think, but possible. But I'm going 27-10, not much different.
All right, I'm going all the way in on you because I'm going to tell you what the score is. I'm going to tell you how it happens.
Scoregami.
Yep. So, no, we're actually going very conventional. This one is going to be 28-10. Rutgers is going to get a field goal in during the game, and then a touchdown in garbage time. And we're going to score 4 touchdowns. It's going to be Singleton with 2. It's going to be Ty Warren with 1. And it's going to be Cephas with 1.
Love it.
The detail.
Love it.
Mark it now.
Any big plays? Any big time plays?
No, it's just they're going to stick to, I think they're going to very much stick to the boilerplate that Yursic is going to leave behind. And we're just going to be entirely too much of a team for Rutgers.
Now, I will say Rutgers is, I believe, in the Big Ten power rankings right now. A little thing I follow. They're like 5th or 6th in the Big Ten. They're really not a bad team this year. It's not. So I'm thinking that this big margin. I'm thinking it's going to be a 2-score win also, but not like a 2+ score. I think it will be. Maybe 20, 25, right? Using that number from my good friend over here.
We have to have 125 a week in the predictions.
I have to, right? I mean, I wasn't going
to
say
it now
because I thought he was going to say it again, but since he didn't, I'll just take it. And if I'm right, I look like a genius. I'm going to go 25 to 14. 25-14. That's my. No. I had a lot of predictions last week. I'm just leaving it a score this week, and that's all it is for me. 25-14.
I've got Penn State.
How about Pike?
35-20. I mean,
okay.
We've seen with the incompetent play calling and horrendous offense, we're still putting up 30 points a week. What are you laughing at?
Hang on, I'm just laughing. So you have what would you say your score was? 35-20. 35-20, yeah. So we're beating Rutgers by 2 touchdowns, but you thought we were going to beat Michigan by 3?
Listen, the Rutgers. This would have been a much bigger prediction if I didn't see how bad the offense was last week.
We saw them against a good defense in Ohio State, though. I mean, it wasn't like.
I thought that was a fluke. Obviously, it was.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, but
we have a second data point now, Evan. It's
yeah,
another data point.
That's true.
So, I mean, but
we had an outlier.
We have seen them play inferior teams and put up 30 on them. I think we're not gonna have a problem doing that just because we have the talent. But I think Rutgers is gonna put up 20 points. It's gonna be a back and forth. we're not going to be comfortable, but we're going to win by 2 scores. But we won't be comfortable. And it's
Evan, I like what you said before with the Rutgers in the power rankings being 5th or 6th or whatever it is. I completely agree with that. I think they're probably number 5. I think you've got Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, the top 3, and then you've got maybe Iowa and then Rutgers. Mm-hmm. I think that's got to be the ranking right now. And they're a legit defense. They're not a good offense, and they just are coming off a 20. I want to say like 20 or 22-0 blanking at Iowa in Kinnick. So I'm not exactly scared of their offense knowing that, but we're not going to hang 50. I don't see that. I don't see it being like Maryland.
Well, and again, all right, let's say Rutgers is ranked 5th. You're going to have Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Iowa, Rutgers. There is that gap. It is honestly, it's the top 2, and then it's us, and then it's a drop to 4 and 5.
That is true. I agree.
Yeah.
I'd love to include us as a top 3, but I mean, we lost to both of them. You can't really put us there anymore.
Again.
No, well, we are top 3. There's just a gap.
Oh, I'm saying right. Well, it's like they're right there, and then we're like here. There is that little gap between us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we're behind. Anything else for Penn State football? Because if not, I have another Penn State sport I'd like to talk about.
Has anyone? I got one more really quick.
Oh yes, sir.
You mind? I was coming in with this one as like I was queued up, ready. So if we had last year's offense with this year's defense, our record right now is blank.
Undefeated.
Natty.
Question: Are we playing last year's Ohio State and Michigan team or this year's Ohio State and Michigan teams?
We're playing this year's schedule. With last year, everything is the same except our offense right now is plucked out and inserted is last year's offense. All the players, all the coaches, strategy, scheme, everything else. Hypothetical, obviously, because that would not be the case ever. But that's the hypothetical.
I think we'd still find a way somehow to lose to Ohio. To be honest, because we just always find a way to lose against them. It hasn't been a long time since we beat Michigan though. So I could see, and especially since that was home, I could see us having 1 loss right now to Ohio. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, same.
That we'd come up short against Ohio, sadly, but we'd bag Michigan for sure.
Maserati Marv.
So I'll go ahead, Mike. Yeah.
You go first.
I just want to point out last year, it was at Penn State, not at Ohio. But last year, our offense put up 30 against Ohio, something like that, right? And that was with turnovers and this and that and everything else. Now, granted, the Ohio State defense is definitely better this year, no question about it. But are we really saying that offense couldn't do 21? And it's pretty much the same story as. But what we're saying, if we lose to Ohio, right? Or if we're saying we're going to lose to Ohio this year also, then last year's offense is really not that much better than this year's. I don't think I agree with that.
See, the thing, my most recent experience from obviously all of the last game from that offense was the Rose Bowl. That's amazing. There were so many times last year where I was very mad at the offense, like I am this year. So I feel like looking back on it, I always think that we think they were better than they were.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. It's the same reason I get excited every single year because I always think, oh yeah, we were so good last year. It's not, but then I'm reminded that we are good, but we're not like one of those top teams.
There was no game last year where we couldn't put up 2 touchdowns.
Michigan last.
Okay, no, all right.
Last year.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, we couldn't score against Michigan last year, but like even against Ohio State, we were putting up numbers. Like we could still score. We could move the ball. Like I don't know. If you look on, and I think the issue with Michigan last year was our offense just didn't get a lot of opportunities last year. Michigan killed us time of possession. They killed us in number of drives. I think we turned the ball over a couple times.
Probably.
There's like a lot of things that go into it. But if you look on like a yards per play basis, the offense last year was significantly better than this year. I don't have the stat on hand, but if I remember right, it was something like 6.5 yards per play or 6 yards per play on average, which is like a competent offense. Nothing crazy, nothing terrible, but like a competent offense. This year, we average like 3.5 yards per play, which is like you don't even have a pulse. You might as well not even trot an offense out there, like Iowa level bad. So just from an standpoint, definitely last year. If we have last year's offense this year, we're undefeated.
I got some stats here. This is again shout out to Audrey Snyder, who is a must follow for any PSU fanatics, right? So I have a offense yards per play by year and a defense yards per play by year since 2014, right? This year, offense yards per play, 102nd ranked in the country as of the Michigan game. Defense third. So, the disparity is on by the numbers just as much as the eye test, right? Last year, defense yard per play, fifth. So, pretty much same.
We lost Bill.
Not last year. Anyone want to guess?
Wait, we lost you for a second.
Can we hear that one more time?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, you're good.
All right. So, again, 101st for offense yards per play this year, not good. Defense third. Defense last year, fifth, similar. What was the offense last year? Any guesses?
89th.
45th.
Which is like first.
99th.
31st.
Not bad.
31. So we went from 31st to 102nd. A huge drop by that measure, at least. So I don't know. I think it's the defense actually surprised me that was that close because I thought last year's unit was good, but not this level. It's actually pretty close, but I feel like you put the offense from last year on this year's team, and we're 9-1 at worst.
I agree.
Like
my opinion.
Said.
Last thing from this. Oh, God, Mike.
I also think we owe Sean Clifford an apology. Because
we do.
We've been saying he's a good quarterback, but he's like that's his ceiling. I don't think Clifford's the problem anymore. I think he was doing fantastic.
Well, I'm glad you think that now.
System he was running in. I mean, I love him, great guy. I always thought he was the best chance to win last year, whatever. But I think we owe him a lot more respect than we gave him while he was playing for us. I think I speak for all Penn State fans when I say that.
I think we just see Sean Clifford tear it up for the cheeseheads over there.
I agree.
But I'm going to have my cake and eat it too and say that I agree with you and say that he was not the problem, but I also think we did see his ceiling.
Get out. I won't tolerate the Sean Clifford slander anymore.
He wasn't the problem, but he wasn't the solution.
Than Drew. Are you saying Drew's
True?
the problem?
No, never.
Don't tempt me.
We will throw you off this pod immediately. So you could argue.
Drew, we will have you on the podcast next week, and he will not be allowed.
We'll sneak you right in, Drew.
I mean, yeah, young, fresh quarterback, but there are a lot of passes, a lot of plays that you can't blame on scheme, where it's just wild throws, wild misses. Is Aller bad? Is he secretly bad?
No.
We don't know yet. The jury's out. The jury's
we don't have enough data yet, but it's possible that he's secretly a bust.
I know him. He's a great man.
Me and him are best friends. I love Drew. He could have
we do love Drew. Hang in there, Drew. Don't transfer.
Don't transfer, please.
Please.
Don't transfer, Drew. We do love you. Hang in there.
I hope you're happy. If you leave, I'm deleting this. We're gonna have to nuke the VOD.
Pay no attention to the man with the do-rag.
No, not a do-rag. My hair's out the top. It's a headband.
You got a headband.
Headband.
Come on,
my bad.
Yeah.
But last thing really quick, and we can move on. But just one more interesting stat from this sheet from Audrey Snyder. So going back to 2014, there's only been 2 years for us keeping track of offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator discrepancy in great defense and bad offense, right? There's only been 2 years that it's been close in yards per play for offense and defense. And again, this is the list since 2014. Anybody want to venture a guess what 2 years they were? What 2 seasons?
2016, 2017.
No, wait, I think
that is correct.
2018.
2016, 2017.
Okay, never mind.
No, it's 16 and 17.
Like you jumped off the lifeboat.
he lived on the answer first too.
He overthought it. He big-brained himself.
I big-brained myself.
The grass is not greener. So 2016, they were 21st in offense and 22nd in defense. 2017, 14th in offense, 12th in defense. The next closest then was actually last year with 31st and 5th. Anyone remember the coordinator for 16 and 17?
Joe Moorhead.
For offense?
That was
Joe Moorhead.
Bring him back.
Who is
need him.
my choice, if we can choose King for a day, to be offense coordinator in 2024.
Yes, I love that.
I'd be very okay with it.
I still want Mike Elko,
Yep.
but that's probably not going to happen.
Probably not.
That's the dream. Yeah, that's the dream.
I don't want to root against him, but sadly, he's not. He wouldn't do it because he's good.
Yeah.
Like he turned honestly nothing Duke into a program people are talking about now.
Yeah. I'm not talking about Duke.
Not even for basketball.
Some people
not even for basketball.
Not even for basketball. Not even for basketball. Did they
Speaking of basketball,
yesterday, right? Anyone staying up to date on basketball or not really off the start of the season here?
Didn't see it. Yeah.
Have you been watching Penn State basketball? Anyone?
Was it SFU?
What?
We're talking about Penn State basketball. You said SFU the other night.
I was talking about Duke basketball, buddy.
I thought you said Penn State basketball.
Well, now I am on Penn State basketball. Yeah. Anyone watching that?
Yeah.
I saw highlights. That was it.
Okay.
Give us the rundown, though.
So you saw the St. Francis, Pennsylvania game, Michael?
No. I saw the
which one? Oh, you saw Lehigh.
Lehigh, yeah.
Right, the one we went to, of course. That makes sense. Yeah, so Penn State basketball, we can be a very, very good team this year, which is, I maybe stop being a possibility, we can crack the top 25. Like, I think that this is a very, 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 like, talented basketball team, but they need to put it on the court. So we have at point guard Kanye Clary, who has been the guy so far. He had first 2 games over 20 points, and last game he dropped 14 on 50% shooting from the field. He looks very good. And then we have him surrounded with Ace Baldwin, who is the reigning Atlantic 10 offensive and defensive player of the year. And he hasn't done anything crazy, no jaw-dropping stats, but you can tell when he's in the court, he's in control of what's happening on both the offensive and defensive ends of the court. And then you pair that with lengthy guys who like to run and get to their spots. So pretty much the offensive scheme is Kanye and Ace Baldwin pushing the ball. We have Zach Hicks and Puff Johnson, who finally is back from injury, running the court and getting to their spots around 3-point line. And then you have, who's been made my favorite player so far this season, is Qudus Wahab, who's dropping double-digit boards every single game and running the court. So in transition, it's a very, very scary team, and we have potential to be a very good team this year. That's my my pure breakdown.
No booty ball this year.
No booty ball. Booty ball was in the he got minutes for the Nuggets the other day though. Jalen Pickett, he dropped 5 points in I think 14 minutes, which not the best stat line, but not bad.
He's out there.
He's been exactly now, especially when Jokic is there. There's only so much you can do because he'll be doing most of it anyway. But yeah, no, I think that basketball, it's a program going in the right direction, and I'm much more optimistic about basketball right now than football. That's for sure.
Well, football has basically nothing to play for anymore.
Right, that's true. But I mean, even the trajectory right now, like basketball is going like this and football is going like this.
That's probably fair. That's a fair take.
Yeah.
I mean,
as
basketball
for the last 7 years.
But look at the level.
We've got to get them in a Big Ten play though for basketball. We got to kind of see if that's actually.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
True.
You have football.
Well, let me do my breakdown for now, where we're looking like this.
Like
that's right.
Yeah, but there's a huge gap. Like the football level is still definitely much higher than the basketball level.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
that's
it is.
true.
It is. I mean,
no, it is. It is. Obviously.
But they are growing. So credit to Mike Rhodes. All roads lead home, baby.
All roads lead home. Mike Rhodes will take
Evan, last year. Yes, last year, Evan. You know this was a big problem, right? Our interior size, probably maybe the biggest problem. How is that looking this year? Any better with Wahab?
So I mean, the game against which game was it? So we still have been out rebounded by smaller teams. I believe all 3 games, which is not a good sign. But Wahab has been fantastic. He had 18 boards in one. I forget which game it was. One of the 3 games, he had 18 rebounds, which is like
nutty.
Not something we've seen at Penn State. And that's no disrespect to like Keba and Demetrius Lilly last year. both freshmen. It's going to be hard as a freshman playing, especially in the Big Ten Conference, against guys like Zach Edey. We're just not going to get a lot of rebounds. Kudus Wahab seems to be a guy who, and on top of rebounds, we really haven't had a presence in the paint. Kudus Wahab is hitting little jump hooks, which is something we have not seen at Penn State probably since Mike Watkins before his injury. So he looks really good. And Demetrius Lilly also has slimmed down. I think he lost like 40-some pounds in the offseason. He looks a lot better this year. And then Favor Air is out for injury. He's out for about a month, they said. But once he comes back, that's another 6'10", 6'11" big man who can probably get boards for us. So that's going to be a big change from last year's team to this year's team, I think.
Nice. That's huge.
Very different scheme and everything from last year, but no, they can be very good.
Yeah. New coach, new players, pretty much whole roster turned over, more or less, right? New excitement. We love it.
9 transfers, I believe. 9 transfers and a freshman from Iceland. So
yes.
it's a team.
Kept Kanye though, so we love
that.
Him.
Love him.
Love Kanye.
Love him.
Don't clip that.
And then meanwhile, our counterpart down the road in where's Notre Dame? South Bend? Is that South Bend?
Yep.
They're not looking too good. I'm just gonna say it. I am rooting for Shrewsbury because he did turn us around, but they're not off to a hot start this season.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Is
that's all my stuff on Penn State basketball. I had to get that out because I'm very excited about this season, as I usually am.
I got one for you too. Is Shrewsbury the Bill O'Brien equivalent of Penn State basketball to Penn State football?
100%.
Right?
He took us from
it's uncanny.
Yeah, turned us around, and then you can't blame him. Like, he went home to Indiana. Like, that was like his dream job essentially. But that's also what Rose is for us now. He's a Pennsylvania guy. So I think that that bridge that Shrewsbury built was huge for our program. But now I think Rhodes is the guy that's going to take us to the next level.
Yep, foundation's laid.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, that's like I said. That's all I got.
And then we got
nice.
Wrestling, who's going to be dominant again and just run away. There's not even anything I have to say about wrestling.
Don't worry about the wrestling season.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them if they lose, so don't expect to hear from them this year.
Kale should be on that Franklin salary right now, $7 million a year. Give him whatever he wants. Build a statue for him. The program is a rock. It's incredible.
There's a lot of room outside rec hall for that statue.
Man. Huh?
Put him right next to the line.
Yeah.
That's right.
Put the singlet on the line.
You can have him pointing at the line.
Yeah.
Pointing across the street. Yeah.
Have the lion pointing at him.
That'd be nice. Yes. Have him ride the line.
Yes.
That is the best spot for taking pictures, by the way, riding on top of the line. That is the number 1 pose.
Absolutely.
Actually, the number 2 pose next to the whisper in the lion's ear. That one's number 1.
I got
that's a good one.
Yeah, whisper right there.
There's the brass statues outside the Alumni Center. That's a great picture spot too. You just mimic the
brass
with all the
statues.
No one knows where this is. No one knows where this is.
No, we took.
Oh wait, no, I do know this actually.
Yeah, it's the kids.
Yeah, the kids.
Yes.
We took pictures there before. It's a great spot.
It's nice. The scenery's nice.
Yeah, I think because you could just do the mimic the statue pose, and then it's like, I don't know, it's good.
Oh, that's something.
It was good. Okay, we have pictures. I'll show you them, Evan. You weren't there. You missed out.
I'm sure I did.
It was before your days under the sun. Okay, it was the first. It was the inaugural.
Days under the sun.
That is a line. That is tremendous.
When was this, buddy?
The inaugural Cousins weekend. That's when we took the pictures there.
Oh. That makes sense. Yeah. Arboretum too. Don't forget the Arboretum. Great pictures. They got childhood. Yeah.
Not once ever.
What's up?
I've never been there.
Really?
Yep.
You've been there for how long? You never been to the Arboretum?
Going on 7 years.
That's a big number.
Yeah,
wow.
That's crazy to think.
That is a big number. That is.
Super soon.
Technically, my first 2 years were branch campus, so I guess 5 years. Still a big number.
Yep.
Wow.
Do you guys remember the ice bucket challenge or ice water challenge or whatever it was?
ALS ice bucket challenge.
So I did the ice. Was it a water or what was it again?
Ice bucket challenge.
They called it ice bucket,
Ice
but you
bucket
basically
challenge.
poured cold water on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that challenge, the ice water challenge. So I did that at the Arboretum in the fountain.
Old.
So I go down right into the Arboretum water, and I had sunglasses on, and I come up, and the sunglasses are gone. So then I'm searching around in the Arboretum fountain looking for these sunglasses. They were never recovered.
Wait, you were in the Arboretum
fountain? We were in the Arboretum fountain.
That's wild.
Phil, it's
that was
the
where we
ice
did it.
bucket challenge, not the ice swim in a fountain challenge.
I can't believe you were there for that. I was like 10 years old during the ice bucket.
I was
challenge.
there for that.
That's crazy. That's wild. There's a video of me
like
doing
you
it.
do as a college kid, and
Mhm.
there is video footage that exists somewhere.
I know where the video footage.
But
I'm like, hi, this is Evan. This is the ice bucket challenge. Because I was small for that. That's wild.
I'm pretty sure I was in like 8th grade.
My 10-year-old self.
Yeah.
I was a small guy.
I must have.
I remember when you did it, though. This idiot over here goes and does it, and then you call out other people to do it after you. He calls me out, and it's like the day I get my wisdom teeth pulled, and I'm all ballooned and inflated. I'm on drugs out of my mind, and this guy is telling me I got to dump water on myself now. Come on, guy.
Hey, that wasn't my concern. That wasn't my concern. Your condition. I'm not. That's right. Rub some dirt on it, you know.
That's right.
Suck,
cannot believe you were
suck it up. But
that's wild.
Evan,
in the fountain, but yeah, it was a sad day.
Mm-hmm.
Evan, did you ever get your wisdom teeth out? Evan?
What?
Did you ever have to get your wisdom teeth out?
No, I got them in. They're in there.
No wisdom.
You see him?
No wisdom.
Has no wisdom.
No, I have the wisdom. I have all the wisdom.
Yeah, all the wisdom's in your teeth.
He's the only one that has wisdom.
No.
I got 4 of them.
He didn't have enough wisdom to grow the teeth out.
You
They're
take
in there.
the teeth out so the wisdom stays in
Oh.
No. Not how this works.
I mean,
it's not like something you crack it open, the wisdom gets absorbed into you. No.
Are you saying the other 3 of us are not wise?
In comparison to me, yes.
That's slander.
It's all relative.
I do. I
man.
I kind of want to count, but it is what it is. Doctor said they can stay, so they're staying.
Do they hurt now?
No, they're just tough to brush because they're so far back. But it is what it is.
It's not a fun experience, so it's not something that I'd be itching to do if I didn't have to do it. So I think you're good with keeping.
I'm not a surgery guy, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of the surgery.
Yeah,
I don't even mind the
surgery.
I just don't like IVs. I don't like the IV. I can do the surgery, just not the IV. That's the stuff that messes with me. But
yeah,
but
it's kind of a gross concept,
It is.
I used to hate IVs until I learned it's not actually the needle that's in you; it's just the pipe.
Yes, the rubbery part
made it a lot easier for me.
That's worse.
I still hate them. How's that worse?
That's even worse.
You think it's like metal and like clean, but you hear pipe and you think like plastic, gross nonsense.
All right. Well, does a rubber tube make it better?
No, that makes it even worse.
You're wild.
That's what it is.
I used to be terrified, like when it would be in my arm, that like if you moved a funny way, like thinking the needle was in there, that you'd like poke through the blood vessel.
That's what I thought too when I had my own.
Yeah. So once they're like, no, we just poke it through and the needle comes out. I'm like, oh, all right.
But do you realize what that means? That means they have to puncture it with the needle, and then they feed a tube in line with your vein. So it's not just poking in. It's like
that's what the I in IV means.
Ooh. No, I don't like it. It's bad. It's bad.
Actually, I think it's the V in IV that's vein.
It's intravenous.
But yes. Yeah. We're gonna next week. We're gonna have to get a medical expert on here and give us an IV rundown. And
we need someone involved.
Actually, don't we have a resident one on today? Yeah.
I can tell you all about the flow through the veins, but I don't have the actual that version of medical equipment experience. So I don't really know which part of the intravenous word is the rubbery. I would assume that venous means it goes like
Either, yeah. The IV intravenous is intra means into, venous is vein.
Yeah. Right.
Into
That's
vein.
why I said the V.
Yeah.
V is for vein, right? You said it was I.
No, I was into. You said it's
I'm
in
not
the
in either.
vein.
Oh my goodness!
I've been lost.
Shut it down.
You've had me. Shut it down.
No shutdown.
No shutdown. No shutdown.
Always shut it down.
Do you know who I am? I'm the boss.
I'm the boss. Wow, man. Wow. Yeah, what's the Thanksgiving Eve plans? Anybody rounding up the crew and seeing the old faces, old friends?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get together with some of my guys, Anthony and Arlo, and the high school squad. Get together, and
there you go.
Arlo was talking about doing a marathon or a mile run on Thursday morning in lieu of like an actual turkey trot, and I told her she could not pay me enough money to do that with her. So we'll see how that goes.
Like you're not going to do a beer mile?
No.
Not happening. No.
No, I don't run.
How about day of too? What do we got as far as like favorite not dish, but like favorite component of the Thanksgiving dinner?
Croissant.
I feel like this could always be a good debate.
Croissant.
Stuffing.
Croissant.
I love
stuffing is a good pick. I do too. Yep.
I mean,
not a stuffing guy.
Has to be turkey, but
I would say
it's not a stuffing guy.
I know it's a cop out, but for me, it's got to be the turkey because it's honestly the only time during the year that I have turkey. I almost never have turkey besides Thanksgiving.
Fair. Here's a hot take.
I actually like the turkey more the second day when I can put it on a sandwich.
I was just gonna say, here's a hot take: the better Thanksgiving meal is the day after Thanksgiving.
I agree. No, I agree.
That's fair.
I mean, it's very good, but I don't know about better. Better is a strong word.
I'll do better.
Second dinner on Thanksgiving. So like you have your early dinner, like the 3-4 o'clock dinner, and then it's like 10 o'clock, and you have the nice turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
The Thanksgiving sandwich with the turkey and the stuffing.
With the moist maker.
Oh yeah, the moist maker.
That one is nice.
No, so I'm sure I told you guys about it, but I'll broadcast out to the world now the secret to awesome day 2 Thanksgiving. You make you make the turkey sandwich, but you scrap the dinner roll, and instead you get you now moist and refrigerated stuffing and dump it in ye olde waffle iron, and you crisp that up nice. The turkey sandwich stuffing waffle stuffings. Ooh wee.
So this is gonna be
that's a Tex holiday classic.
They got the guys saying ooh wee. They better be good.
I am a big fan of like soggier stuffing rather than crisp stuffing.
I feel like that's surprising from you, Bike. That's out of character a little bit.
You think so? I like soggy.
Yeah.
Tex, I'm with you. I'm with you on this.
When I do like a Subway, like if I get a Subway hoagie, I put it in the microwave and it like softens the bun. Oh man, that stuff's the best.
What? No.
Yeah.
No.
My brother in Christ, soggy Subway is the stuff of nightmares.
No, it's
let me just. Why don't you just dip some bread in water and call that dinner? What's wrong with you?
You think it has
this man eats hot dogs like Joey Chestnut.
This is wild.
Why do you think
and he enjoys it. That's his preferred way of.
Not shovel road, just casual pace, a little dunk in the water, a little nibble.
Why do you think? Do you really think
wild.
The water helps him get it down faster? No, it's because he likes them. He enjoys the hot dog more that way.
Right.
And if he's gonna have 60, he might as well enjoy it.
Right.
A texture guy. He's a big texture guy.
The soggy texture is better.
Oh my god. Wait, do you actually like a soggy hoagie?
Texture is better.
Yes.
You actually like a soggy hoagie?
So actual trueness. When I order Subway to take back to my apartment to eat it, I do not get it toasted and I put it in the microwave.
For the sole purpose of softening and making the bun like
warm, but it being soggy is better than it being crisp. That's why I put it in the microwave instead of toasting it.
By soggy, do you mean soft or do you mean soggy?
Either.
That is true.
Either. Like I'm not gonna dump water on it, but like the juices kind of run into the bread when you microwave it. I think that's
no, because I don't do that.
So, Bike, here, what if you had, and Bill knows where I'm going with this. What if you had a Subway?
I'm scarred. I'm scarred from this, by the way. This is a childhood scarring memory that Tex is about to share. I know exactly what he's going to say. Just wait.
So how would you feel if we took your Subway sandwich, untoasted, put it in a Ziploc bag, and then put it in a cooler overnight?
Okay.
Where it's very cold and humid, and the ice melts, and it's water, and that sandwich is, kind of wet.
Yeah.
That's good?
Yeah, it's good. I would eat it.
No.
That's a go-to. That's a go-to.
No.
That's a staple.
I want to heat it up first.
That's his death row dinner.
You eat the sandwich and you get hydrated at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm a changed man from that experience.
Listen, we're engineers. That's efficient.
I'll never forget that one, Tex. Yep.
If you get it soggy and wet, it's water and food. You only have to eat it. You don't have to drink it.
This guy's all about efficiency.
That's right.
He's nothing if not efficient.
I'm not gonna. I would eat it, but I would not enjoy it.
I would want to put it in the microwave. I'd want to warm it up. I wouldn't want to eat it cold. I would eat it cold.
I mean, that's fair.
Well, yeah, but you're like you don't get like pickles or lettuce or stuff on yours. You just get like ham and cheese.
Cucumbers and tomatoes.
So you heat up the cucumbers and tomatoes.
What's the whole sandwich? Give us the whole breakdown.
Go to Subway.
So, depending how adventurous I'm feeling, I either get it on white bread or on the Italian herb and cheese.
Oh.
Because the Italian herb and cheese is good.
That's a good call.
And then it's an Italian BMT. So you get like your ham, your salami, your whatever else they put on there, the couple meats. And then you get American cheese, because American cheese is the goat cheese. But not
that's your first mistake.
No, that's goat cheese.
Goat of cheese. It's American cheese.
Yeah, goat cheese is good.
You get cucumbers and tomatoes. And if you really are feeling it, sometimes, but not often, I get banana peppers. Not toasted.
Okay.
This guy knows.
Throw that sucker in the microwave for like a minute.
Did I miss it, or was there no sauce, no spread, nothing?
No sauce.
Okay, so it's not going to be soggy. It's not going to be soggy though coming out of the microwave. It's just going to be soft and warm bread.
You get the juices from the tomatoes that get in the bun.
Mike dumps half a glass of water in there before he heats it up.
I'm telling you, listen.
He steams it.
It's a steam bun.
A steamed Subway.
If you put it in the fridge, right? Like if you have half a hoagie left and you put it in the fridge, day 2 it is always soggy. It just is.
Yeah, it's gross. Yeah. Right in the garbage.
Day 2, awful. It's fantastic. I love it.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna.
My God.
I do eat that, but day 1 is better.
This dude is not human.
It's better than day 1, but the sogginess is good, and I'd rather that compared to crisp.
Not me. It's just not me.
He might be this guy might be swaying me because I love that last bite where it's like I'm a big mayonnaise sweet onion sauce guy, and I get so much of that in that last bite. Yeah. But I wouldn't describe it as soggy though.
What is it?
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
There's the bread and there's the sauce. But it's not soggy bread.
If it's absorbed into the bread, it's soggy.
No, it's not absorbed into the bread.
That's where we're different.
You're right about that.
That is a difference. That's the difference. I'm a big Jersey Mike's guy, right? So they have like, the Mike's ways with the juice. So you get the juice on there, fantastic, right? But that for me is not soggy. It's covered. It's there's juice to the sandwich, but it's not like the bread is sopping soaked through with all that disgustingness. Like it's still holding up nice.
It's not
That's
like
what I like.
It's not like you had Frosted Flakes in the cereal bowl for the last 30 minutes. You just put them in the cereal.
I like that too. I like
exactly.
When cereal gets soggy.
We got to end the podcast. Guys.
This episode is really falling off.
We can't air this. We can't air this
to the viewers.
YouTube is going to shut us down.
We just got to cut this entire last part.
Soggy is good. Now I don't. When I'm talking about cereal, it still needs to be able to hold itself together. But I don't want to eat I don't want to take a bite of cereal and hear a crunch.
No, I love that.
No.
That's the best bite of cereal. Is when it's still crunchy.
We have to mark this episode as NSFW. We can't have children watching this.
We've got to cut out Michael talking about soggy foods and Tex talking about Drew Aller being bad. Those are gone. Gone from the episode. Not allowed. Not allowed on YouTube.
So let me ask
it's a family-friendly channel.
Let me ask you a question. Growing up, when your mom would make Salisbury steak, right? Or anything in gravy.
This is a good argument.
Would you clean up the gravy with a piece of bread?
But that's still not soggy bread, though.
No.
So,
no.
Would you, when you're soaking it up with the bread, would you hold the bread? Or would you use a fork? Yes.
You hold it with your hands, right?
I use my hand.
Like now it's fork and knife. Now I'm a professional.
Exactly. And therein lies the difference. I don't want to hold a sopping wet soggy sandwich, but I'll use a fork to push that bread around in the spaghetti sauce to soak it up.
So you're not against the sogginess. You're against holding the sogginess.
I don't want that in my hands.
Ooh.
Just in his mouth.
So you don't care. You eat it. You don't think it's a problem eating it. You just don't like holding it. So if you had the soggy Subway with the fork,
he's got to think it over. It's really getting down to the nitty gritty now.
I might be in a contradiction here. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but it's different though, because it's not as soggy bread. It's like a bread dip. It's like a bread dip. You take the bread.
Yeah, that's true. It's when I clean up the plate, I don't let it soak in there to where the bread starts to absorb it. I just use the bread as the spoon to get it.
That's the difference. That's the key distinction.
I would let it soak. I would push it in and let it suck up the gravy.
Yeah, no, I use it. It's like a utensil for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you, day one, never switched up. That was how it was for me. Always. I like the sogginess. What's the face for it?
Soggy.
I completely forgot because I'm thinking we're probably closing in on our time here. Did we have any fan questions in the comments last week?
I was gonna bring it up. We do have some fan questions in the comments. From @Big10Fan. So
I can't imagine who this is.
We appreciate the comments coming in. Anybody?
Thank you, Big Ten Fan. Let's hear some more tonight.
If you have questions for us, leave them in the comments. We'll
questions about anything can be life related, not too personal, because we probably don't care.
Yeah.
But drop them down.
Whatever you got.
We care very much. Drop your soggy comments below.
He gave us 4 questions. He or she gave us 4 questions.
Do you eat your Subway soggy or not?
Enough,
tell us below. Keep it civil, guys.
There's one comment. It is @Michael Unlimited Games Podcast asking the question.
We got @Big10Fan. He starts off saying @Big10Fan here, often referred to by those that know me as a friend to the game of football. Dream job is to be a fired college football coach with a huge buyout. Since we covered a lot of college football and mainly Penn State, I have a few questions for the next episode. He has 4 questions for us. Do you think Franklin takes a page from Nick Saban's book and hires a failed head coach as coordinator? Shout out Manny Diaz in the U for the open OC spot. Jimbo Fisher started there and might be worth a look.
Yes, Jimbo is the leading candidate for sure.
Oh yeah.
We need Jimbo as OC.
I feel like our fan wrote this knowing the answer already.
I think so. If we could get Jimbo as OC, I say we take him.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I'm okay with that.
I definitely agree.
He's already getting.
I think he goes. Yeah, he's good. He's set. But he also might not be caring.
Our dream is to get our boy Joey back, which is exactly what we want. We're looking at failed head coaches as our prime candidates.
I agree.
I'm looking at a successful head coach. I want Mike Elko in there. That's my pick.
Yes,
I'd be beside myself.
The dream.
But yeah, Jimbo Fisher. Yeah, I say let's get him in there. I think he should do it. Number 2.
Let's answer really quick, realistically though. So do we think it'll be a current head coach, whether it's Jimbo, Joe Moorhead, Mike Elko? I'd say they're all long shots besides Moorhead. It's probably not, if you're playing the odds, but he's got to. I don't think he goes internal either. I think it will be external, but
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think it could be a failed head coach. There's gonna be tons of people on the hot seat that lead very good offenses. I think we get a head coach.
I'm gonna answer yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Number 2.
Cool. Next.
Number 2. The question of what does Penn State do with Franklin was discussed, and a point was raised that who can you get that is better? Texas A&M's AD stated that the program was stuck in neutral with Jimbo. Believes same can be said for Penn State. Do you have any thoughts?
No.
Next question. I don't want to answer this question.
No one refused to elaborate.
We have no thoughts.
No thoughts.
No thoughts.
I'm not even thinking
no
about
thoughts
it.
we're willing to share on the internet, right? No, so obviously it's you definitely can make the argument they're stuck in neutral. I think they are stuck in neutral, and it's one of those things where after the game I was ready to blow it all up, and we got we got to hit the reset button and clean house. The reality is that's not going to happen either way. The buyout's too big. The lack of a clear, better option or clear culpability of Franklin is not there now with Jurisic gone. Um, it's a tough question, honestly. There's definitely both sides that can be seen here. When it comes down to it, is there as much money in the program as Ohio State, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia? No, and that's the reason you'd say it's not entirely Franklin, but also Franklin's had a decade, and I think we kind of know where we're at with the current status quo. So, oh man, it's definitely complicated. It's a hard one to answer. I don't know if I know. I really don't know if I have my mind made up at this point. Just where we're at right now.
So to stick with the car metaphor, I would say that I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we're actually not in neutral. I'm gonna say we're in drive, but we're just not at the speed limit yet.
So we're still on the up, but slowly.
I'm saying we're a good team. We're there. We're not like stuck in a rut. Like we're up there. We're just not where we want to be, where the fans want program to be, where we expect we can be. I mean, are we progressing? Not necessarily. We've kind of plateaued, but I guess maybe we are in neutral then.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
This was the year, right, where the plateau was supposed to become an incline, and it didn't. So by definition, you are your neutral.
Yeah.
We've hit the ceiling.
Maybe
next year's the year.
I'm gonna disagree. I think coming into the season, there was a lot of hype, obviously, but I think if you look at this 2 years ago, objectively, you say, look, Drew's gonna be like a first-year starter. We're gonna have some offensive issues, whatever. I think 2 years ago we say that next year is the year. I think
I've been saying that for the past couple years, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. But I also think that it's hard to say we're stuck in neutral. Obviously, it's turned out that way, that we haven't gotten any better. But if you look at the years we have had good offenses, and we've had good defenses. 2016, 2017, right? And those 2 years, I would argue, were very successful. 2016 Big Ten championship, right? You can make the argument we should have been in the playoffs.
Yep.
I think we're not stuck in neutral. We're just waiting to get every piece together at the right time. Because there have been times.
Problem is, there's not a lot of Saquons coming through right now.
That's a problem, yeah. But all we need to do, we have a lot of talent now, right? Back when we had Saquon, we didn't have a ton of talent. I don't think we weren't recruiting at the level we are now. I don't think talent's the issue anymore.
That is true.
You don't think we had talent on that team?
I didn't say that. We did
not a ton of talent.
We did not recruit as well. Our offensive line was terrible. We have all highly recruited guys on our line now. We're definitely recruiting better. We just need a year.
I did see something. I don't remember who it was, but I did see something on Twitter that next year's team with the projected who will stay, who will leave, which could change obviously, but either way, it's probably going to ring true. Next year's team will be the highest blue chip recruit percentage team Franklin's had. And it's been mid 50s for the past 2, 3, 4 years. Next year it's supposed to be in the 60s. So it's like a 5 to 10% jump, which is significant. It's probably a couple starters then are going to be blue chip that weren't. So there's an argument to be had there. The only thing is back to 2014, what ranks your 2 units are, right? The only 2 years that the offense has been top 25 were those 2 years. I mean, that's not a great stat, right? You're the top 25 is you should be 25 every year, and he's had it twice in 9.
Yeah.
Not good. I mean, it's not good.
No, I definitely agree with that, but I think a lot of it is, I don't want to bail him out and say offensive coordinators, but I mean, when he started, it was John Donovan. That was a disaster, right?
Bad. Yeah, bad.
Moorhead was fantastic, right? Then it's Ricky Ronnie, who leaves after a year, and then it's Soroka, who left after a year, and then it's been Jurkic for the past 3 years. So really, anyone that's had a chance to stay and build up an offense, it was Moorhead who left after 2, and Jurkic who was fired after 3. And other than that, it's been a bunch of 1-year stints. I mean, it's hard to get a consistent offense.
I mean, Soroka was fired though. So
yeah, after one,
he was replaced.
Yeah,
but that's still on Franklin. It's a bad hire.
No, that's true. Yeah, but all he needs to do is hit on a hire, and he did hit on Moorhead. But then Moorhead.
I mean, I'll argue he's hit on 1 of 5. I mean, think about the defense versus the offense.
Yeah.
Every defensive coordinator we've had under Franklin has been good to, I'll even say great to elite. Like they've all been at least great. Diaz has been insane. Yeah. You can't even. It's not even close on offense. I mean.
No, that's true. That's true. I just think
my opinion.
Potential's there. He needs to get lucky, but I don't think this is a neutral ceiling. Like you can kick it up to that next gear as soon as we get the offensive coordinator we need.
A fair take.
Yep. Anyone else want to weigh in on that, or I'm going to go to the next one?
You can go to the next one, my guy. I got nothing else to add.
At Big Ten fan, rough offensive performance versus Michigan, which resulted in a fired OC, possibly justified. I'm more of a Big Ten West guy. With a 5-star quarterback, a top 2 NCAA tackle, and some good running backs, was play calling the problem or lack of talent on the outside and no threat to truly open up the outside of the field?
Yes. I think that was said perfectly.
Yeah,
those were all the problems that we saw in that game.
No reason it can't be both.
Combo. But it also
we
kind of touched on it. This game is not what led to him being fired. This is a pattern thing over a while.
Which is interesting, yeah.
Which definitely puts the ring on there, yeah.
And we touched on it before too, but the combination thing, right? It was play calling. It was no lack of talent on the wide receivers. It was, execution problems. Multiple things adding up to the sum of the result, which ultimately is on the offensive coordinator anyway. So, like we said before.
Yep, agreed. That one's pretty clear cut. And then last question. To follow up on the OC, I don't think it is getting talked about enough how Michigan ran the ball 30 straight times in the second half. Defensive failure, in my opinion, and Manny Diaz is getting bailed out by the subpar offensive performance. Defense needs to be better.
That sounds like a complaint more than a question.
We covered this one too.
We did. Yes, we did. Maybe we'll open up next week with the questions so we can get on them right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't have them covered.
We definitely answered them before.
Yeah, we don't think that was the full storyline of the game. They had a couple big runs which were made up a lot of yards.
Game of football, you would think you would have a little bit of a deeper take than that, but
that wasn't even a question. That was just a shot at Manny Diaz. Yeah. There wasn't a question there.
Big Ten fan. And we hope to hear from you next week. We love your questions, Big Ten fan.
So I hope you're still watching. I hope that answers your questions. And I hope you don't disrespect Manny Diaz anymore because.
And we hope to hear from you again. We'd love to hear your questions again, Big Ten fan.
But don't slander Manny.
Yeah. That's right. Do comment below.
Keep it open for all our fans. Feel free to comment. We're happy to address anything, whether it's Penn State football, basketball, if you want to talk pro football, if you want to talk anything outside the world of sports. Subway sandwiches. How do you like your sandwich? Toasted versus steamed? Let us know.
Yep.
What's your go-to sandwich?
Put down your Subway order in the comments. Duke it out for King of Subway.
If you're still here, leave your favorite Subway bun you get in the comments below.
Red.
If you've watched this far, you very well may actually put that comment below.
If you've watched this far, you've probably earned a free Subway. Treat yourself.
Please do. Yeah, we'll give you a stamped Subway card. A free voucher for a soggy bun. We'll make it happen.
One lucky fan gets a soggy bun.
Yeah, that's right.
Give away to one lucky fan.
Subscribe and like for a soggy bun.
Hit the bell. Hit the bell.
Get a soggy Subway bun.